Ahoy and welcome everyone. Welcome to Horizon's Call, a very special episode of Horizon's Call, as the last few episodes of Horizon's Call have been. This is the finale, however, of our character development series, starring the one and only Wynni, played by, of course, the incredible one and only Eva.
It's me.
It's you. I'm very excited to be here with my lovely partner and explore a little bit more about everyone's favorite sea elf friend to all, sea elf artificer, alchemist extraordinaire, all of those things, Wynni. Mom to Jeffrey. Yeah. You could say a lot of things about Wynni, and we're going to. I'm going to have Eva say a little bit about her lovely character before we jump into things. But I do want to say, first and foremost, this is a live episode. The past couple of episodes that I did with Mare, that I did with Kayla, were pre-recorded. This one is live. We're really here in this time. No time travel. A little bit of time travel if you're in other time zones, or because, like, when stuff goes through wires and satellites, and that kind of time travel, but more or less real time. So, that said, you can actually act this game. We take tips through Pally. We prefer that much more heavily over any donations you give through. I shouldn't even use the word donations. Anything that you give through Twitch is appreciated. It's great. It goes towards the channel. It helps Eva and I pay for the licenses, subscriptions, all the kind of stuff that we use to make this channel. But we more heavily prefer that you give tips through Pally. That gets evenly distributed to all of our cast, all of our crew for an individual show. You can find that link in chat. Twitch doesn't take the cut that it does. And like I said, it gets evenly distributed based on shares. It's a much better tool that we have found. And if you give either on Twitch or, again, through Pally, you can actually impact the games that we play. You can give crits. You can give advantages. For a game like this one, this session, the only thing that's really going to matter is a black spot. I will make things worse for Eva, but we're not going to be rolling a lot in these character development sessions. That's kind of the point, is to explore the character in a more of a roleplay sense without dice really impacting things in a way that they could critically make things worse or better. But should you give anything, it just fast forwards to the next session. Next session will be an official, real, normal Horizons Call episode. We're jumping back into having the full cast back. So it will get passed on to that. And I certainly, if you give me a black spot for then, I am more than happy to punish them with it. Everything gets passed along if you donate in the middle of a week as well. All that said, I didn't even introduce myself. I'm Derek Sword. I am the GM for Horizons Call. I use he, him pronouns. I am the guiding compass as we navigate the treacherous seas of Damaris. And I am joined by the very lovely Eva, who, now that I'm done talking, say stuff about yourself.
I keep thinking that I need to hold up a newspaper, proof of live instead of proof of life. But hi, I'm Eva, she, her pronouns. Today I am playing, as Derek said, your lovely sea elf alchemical artificer, Wynni, who also uses she, her pronouns, and little Jeffrey, well, I don't play him, but I am good friends with him. What?
You know him in real life.
I know him. Her homunculus, mechanical servant type, little were shark. I think that's the important
All those
part,
things are true.
Little were shark.
Yeah, little street shark with his rollerblades and his jetpack.
His catchphrases.
He's the coolest toy on the market. Fantastic. Well, as we have done for a lot of character development sessions, we are going to pick up with just Wynni. So, even I talked about this. Just Wynni, plus maybe some friends. But Wynni and I, Eva and I talked. All of the other players and I talked and kind of built with their sessions. So, whereas Proximus moving back in time, Scarlet did a little bit of jumping here and there. Keisha's was more cosmic. We're going to pick up with Wynni on the island of Undertow. It's going to be a couple of weeks after the events of our last full session. So a couple of weeks after Rollin essentially revealed to you all the cosmic stakes of what you all were doing and kind of set up this next stage for you all to collect elder artifacts and go to all these distant places. So a couple of weeks later, the city that the Corins have officially not really named is being built. You all have homes, places, headquarters, whatever else has kind of been structured out. What would Wynni be doing with herself in these weeks? Is she helping with construction? Is she doing research? Is she on the ships? Where would Wynni be? You are muted, dear.
I am muted. Excellent. Cool, cool, cool. Um,
Take two.
Take two is Wynni is just sort of wandering around, poking her head here and there, seeing who is up to what, if anyone needs help, either with building stuff, not that she's super good at building necessarily, but you know, she and little Jeffrey could like hold a beam steady or whatnot. She's going to kind of swim around the island and like poke around with the construction that's going on underwater and make sure everything's safe and sound down there.
So let me ask about that because, and let me change the music because Wynni would have much more of like happy kind of busyness to her. So construction of New Korra not being named New Korra. Yeah, you would know that Acacia has been doing a lot of work trying to figure out a house that would be sufficient for an entity of her size. So she has hired a lot of the bugbears to help. The town center is coming along very nicely. There's lots of centers of commerce that Curio and Darius are looking after. Brenna has been working a lot with Acacia as well. They're doing some exploring. But I feel like the underwater parts that you talked about, that would really be something that maybe you and Proximus, probably even more you than Proximus, would be looking towards. So what are some of the structures that you're looking for there? And are you looking to put them like near the watershed of the island? Are you looking to put them like around the dock where this city is being built? What's that kind of look like?
I think there's just like an above water city, like you're gonna want some underwater accessible areas near the dock, probably near the watershed, but then, you know, we had talked about like an underwater inn and a shelter, and those are probably gonna be better like not unprotected like on the other side of the island, but you know, a little further off. So at first probably with Proximus if he was up for it, because he's a little more not safety minded, but defensively minded.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure. Somebody who's been trained militarily for strategic defense.
Yeah, like Wynni's got like the comfort down, like yeah, like this current, perfect. Also, like, you know, she's lived up closer to the surface more than he has. But he probably would have a better like, yeah, the current's good, but like, you know, perfect crack and attack angle. Like, don't do it.
I would say, Wynni, you'd probably be aware more than most that Rollin actually hires a completely separate crew from the original ones that come in about a week and a half later after your all's discussion about, oh, we actually do need underwater structures and things. And he's hired an entire crew of Lukatha there's a settlement of Lukatha near Folan. You all saw their dignitaries when you all were at court. And he has hired a number of Lukatha who are working tirelessly around the clock to really build these underwater structures. Some of them are accommodating for dwarven submarinal ships. Some of them are accommodating just for sleeping quarters and some defenses as well. So absolutely. I would say it's around this time, maybe a couple of days after that some familiar faces to Wynni would come ashore. And I mean, not like they're coming off of a longboat, not like they're walking off of the plank of a ship. They literally walk out of the surf. And these strangers to everyone else are kind of not really like met with a lot of suspicion. They don't necessarily seem aggressive by any means. And, there's lots of new faces, so there's not a lot of questions going around. But Wynni, I would say that, yeah, you definitely would clock these individuals. There is a sea elf. There is a strange, smaller creature that most people wouldn't, most people wouldn't notice what they were just as they're walking out of the ocean. They're in this strange kind of cloth and metallic apparatus, I would say. There's a merfolk, which shifts to having his legs instead of his tail as he walks out of the surf. A Lokatha, absolutely, and another sea elf. And this group of individuals just kind of like are walking into town at this point when you notice them.
And I had seen them fairly recently at my birthday, right?
You had seen some of them for sure. So yeah, maybe even we didn't necessarily say it in session, but yeah, absolutely some of your companions might recognize their faces as well. More just like,
yeah,
I've seen you somewhere kind of thing.
Yeah. Wynni is going to drop whatever she was doing. Unless it was like literally holding a post for somebody.
Yeah, you were holding a child and you just...
Oh yeah, so cute. Plop. And she is going to bound over to the group with little Jeffrey kind of hovering at her side in tow. And hi, hello, friends. What brings you to unnamed island or city on Undertow?
And they all turn around, and you would see your friends, some of the members of the Redeemers, a group that Wynni was part of as a younger sea elf, kind of an informal adventuring, treasure hunting guild group club. It feels very much like an after school club kind of thing. Like, gang. Yeah, this is, yes, a gang. Yeah. No, these are not these are the ones that would have like they would have the Letterman's jacket that isn't for sports. It's for like, like academia groups or like math club or something like that.
The pink ladies.
Yeah, they'd have chess club down the arms. No, you're putting way too much leather into this, and I don't think this isn't like leather jacket. These aren't bikers.
Pink ladies didn't have leather jackets. They were like satin or something.
Okay, all right. Anyway, you do see the sea elf, Fira Gelshore, who is a bookish individual. She has kind of her hair is pulled back. She has goggles more than glasses because she absolutely does need some sort of prescription eyewear. But glasses don't stay on in the water well. So they are kind of like strapped around almost like Coke bottle-esque. She has a book that she is jotting feverishly in. And you would know very well, you've known Fira for a long time, these pages are water resistant by some sort of magic that she has figured out. And she is kind of making like diagrams of a lot of the structures that are being built, and is almost kind of like writing down notes about this town, and has already drawn like an outline of the island and where this city is on it. You would see Zingy Marshholm, who is the smaller individual, as this like dome with all these little windows on it. One of them pops open, and you would see a small, very lively gnomish face behind it. And she's wearing what you would be familiar with is a gnomish submariner's getup, basically a diver's suit. There is Merrick Umbercat, who is this beefy merfolk. He has these, I would say like seafoam green kind of patterns on his skin, like seafoam green and probably orange, I think is what he's kind of working with there. This frill that has kind of gone down his back a little bit, because when merfolk changed into their humanoid form, they still kind of look like merfolk. They just don't have their tailing. They still have a lot of the same coloration. Yeah, that's the difference between them and sirens. Sirens look almost like people. They keep their coloration in their hair. Merfolk still have a lot of their more Piscean features. There is Yana, who is a small Lokatha, And she is, let's say, she's kind of just like kicking her big flippers in the sand and kind of looking up around. And when she sees you, she's got these big catfish-like whiskers, and she just waves her little webbed hand at you. And lastly is the other sea elf, Murray, who is actually, you would recognize, I'm going to say, when they were at your birthday party, you thought it was more of a family thing. You didn't know that they had become a redeemer, because Murray is a like second cousin, once removed. Like, sea elf families are long-lived and vast, and Murray is absolutely a relation of some sort. And yeah, when you say hi, friends, they all turn around, they wave, and Fira kind of straightens out her goggles. Hello, Wynni. It's great to see you. We heard you had set up a new island here, and a new establishment, a new civilization on this island. And it was super neat. We just wanted to come by and say hi, and some ulterior motives as well, but want to start there.
I do love a good ulterior motive, but yeah, hi and welcome. We're just sort of, don't mind our dust, kind of in the middle of everything. I'm just sort of in the process of hunting down a small, medium slab of stone, cube of stone. Yeah, I'd be happy to show you around.
Yana, the Lokatha, goes, what kind of stone?
Maybe granite, or, marble is pretty hard to come by, I think, and probably inappropriate for my purposes, but, something carvable.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm. Something good for a fountain.
You don't want to do marble, then. Water's terrible for it.
Oh, well, see? Good thing, granite is probably top of my list. And she kind of covers little Jeffrey's, like, he doesn't have ears, but like where his ears would be.
I'll give you some suggestions. And she starts jotting down just like types of rocks.
Thank you.
Fira, again, always kind of like straightening the goggles. Like they don't go anywhere. They are strapped around her head. She's constantly just straightening them.
Wynni knows the struggle.
Right. We were actually wondering if you would perhaps be interested in getting the Redeemers back together, getting the old gang back together and going on a particular mission with us. It'd be super great to have you. Okay, great. You didn't ask for
That's
any
all
of the
I
details.
need to know.
Yeah, all right. Okay, cool. Well, we're going to leave tomorrow. We thought if, you'd been out and about and seen a lot more of the real world than we had, so it'd be nice to have a true adventuring veteran.
No. I've just traveled a little bit. Like, you all have been doing so much stuff in Fall Emerald and other places.
No, mostly Fall Emerald and the surrounding, not really other places. No, I talked to your sister and she said you killed a god, so that's different.
Yeah, mostly almost a god. Like, she had some. It was a time. Yeah, we can. Yeah.
Okay, neat, great. Well, would you like to know what we're doing, or would you like to be surprised? Oh, okay, all right, that's explainable. Okay, well, and she looks around and finds like a workers table that has kind of been set up, and goes just platting off to it, rolls out this map, like pushes tools off of it, and some of the workers are just fine, and unravels this map, all these plans. Well, we have been contracted recently because of our outstanding reputation by some of the dwarves on Axia. They have been, for quite a time now, been searching for the lost crown helms of all the dwarven kingdoms. This area used to be heavily populated by dwarves before the deluge, and a lot of their dwarven kingdoms outside of Axia, the Great Mountain itself, really didn't do so well in the flood. So they have contracted out lots of different people to find these lost kingdoms, these lost cities, these lost halls, and retrieve the crown helms. So they have contracted us to go and find Darndrin Daroth, which is one of the last sunken cities that hasn't been found, except it has now been, thanks to some recent tectonic activity. And we're gonna go and see if we can retrieve a helm and learn all we can while we're there. So that is our plan.
That sounds amazing.
Oh, neat. Okay, that's great. I always forgot how on board you were for potential peril.
Well, I mean, it's a good little investigation, and I get to hang out with you all. And what can I bring? Can I bring little Jeffrey? He's helpful.
Little Jeffrey is on the corner of the table, just like flossing. You just hear the little mechanical whirring as like the hips are moving.
I was gonna say, to be clear, you mean doing the dance flossing, not the...
Yes, yeah. No, I well, maybe a little bit, but he's doing both because he's that mechanically, like it. What's the word I'm looking for? He's that mechanically
versatile?
Articulate.
Aha.
Yeah.
Yes.
He can floss while flossing. So because he has a little
My special little guy.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that'd be great. We're really looking only for redeemers on this one because we don't really want to share the credit with anybody. We could really use the boost to our reputation on this one. I will say that we were not the first pick for the dwarves, and it is what it is, you know.
But why not? The redeemers don't have a bad reputation.
No, it's just we're not exactly professionals. The dwarves of Glengorum have so much gold, and I think they've just kind of exhausted a lot of their resources. So it's great to be 10th.
Well, 1st or 10th, I am just happy to be here. So, yes, I am on board. And, what do you need from me?
Just your expertise and your spirit of adventure. As you can tell, we've lost a handful of members over the years. You know, people get families and jobs, and well, we got some new blood as well. And yeah, it's just we figured a veteran like you could help some of these greenhorns really see the excitement of treasure hunting.
Yeah, so that would be you, Yana, right? I don't think we did introductions, so I don't think I know your name. But
yeah, it's all of us here. So yeah, you know Zinji.
Yes.
Merrick, of course. I know you've worked together with Merrick before. Yana's new, but super smart when it comes to rocks. Any type of
that tracks.
Well, yeah, rocks, minerals, all that. Also weird knowledge of the undead, but we don't ask questions. O'Murray, also new. Real big into art. And a wine aficionado, if you'd believe it.
I am very surprised to see you here, Murray, but yeah. This could be good.
you know.
Yeah, we're related.
Yeah, Murray just kind of like pushes some of their blue hair. Hey, Wynni. Didn't expect to see you here.
They didn't tell you why they were bringing you to the island? Just...
Listen, like, whatever, you know? I'm just...
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Perfect, yes. Love them. So, we leave tomorrow from here, and you said there's a map on the table?
Yeah.
Okay, she's gonna like head down, like kind of be kind of like talking different routes and like you know, asking like what the plan is, like Are we?
So we hired out a couple of orca chariots that have been super great getting us here this far. We're probably going to use the same locomotion to get us there. It's about a week out, roughly estimating, and we pinpointed it pretty accurately. At this point, the next most difficult thing is going to be get inside that old puppy.
And we don't know what we're looking at for that?
What do you mean?
Like, how we're getting in? Do we know that?
No, it's a dwarven keep. They all have their own peculiarities, riddles, and sometimes you got to climb on a mouth or two. And
so they didn't give you like some sort of old ancestral key or anything. That would have been too easy.
No, see, the history of this city in particular, this keep, is it actually didn't go down in the deluge. It went down almost right before. Dorndra and Daroth, apparently, according to the records that the dwarves have, lost contact with the capital of Axia and with a lot of the other dwarves. It used to be a big site of new technologies and new inventions, and had its own forge, of course, and its own mines. But it went quiet almost a year and a half before the deluge happened. And of course, once that happened, records get a little soggy. But that's also why I think it's really important that we get down there, is it's been sealed off before the deluge. Chances are it's probably not even flooded.
Okay, just to be clear though, so like this is ideally retrieval and scouting, but if, say, hypothetically, we discover it was sealed off because there was like, I don't know, a hydra or something in there, like we're not like clearing anything out, right? We're just like, oh, making a note, there's a hydra, and then dipping, right?
Wynni, none of us are fighters by any means. I know your friends now might be all apt onto swinging swords and casting magical fireballs, but no, our main job is to recover the crown helm of Queen Lofna, and that is it. That is what we have been hired to do. It is important we are successful.
Well, I'm on board. There's probably a better saying for that, being as we're mostly underwater folk. But I don't know what it is, so on board it is.
You're ready to take the dive.
Yes.
There we go. Okay. Fantastic. Do you mind putting us up for the evening?
Yeah, I mean, as you can see, like, still sort of a work in progress, but we've got some little places to bunk down, if you don't mind non-luxury accommodations.
Oh no, not a big deal at all. Fira turns to everybody. Tents out, everybody. Tents out. And they all start kind of reaching behind. These are people who have never camped before. These are people who are very they're not used to this type of accommodation. The veterans have maybe done a little bit of camping from time to time, but it's more like in the Boy Scouts where they know more or less how to put a tent together. They've probably forgotten a couple of poles.
Do they seem, aside from Omori, do they seem like they're kind of excited about it? Like, ooh, camping, or do they seem like horrified?
I'm going to absolutely compare them to Boy Scouts on this. I think Zinji, the first thing that she tries to do is starting a fire, even though you are in a pretty warm part of the map.
I'm gonna just kind of herd them over so that they're not in the middle of anything super.
They absolutely, they were setting up right in the center of where a new something was going to
maybe
go down.
A good view or something. And then I'm sure there are probably, because that was something that we had kind of prioritized or talked about prioritizing, was I think Scarlett had mentioned it, the just shelters, like non-in kind of free spaces for sleeping. But if they're on board with the tent thing, like Wynni's just gonna help set them up. Maybe over like near Wynni's the foundation for Wynni's house, which is probably not yet put together.
I would say there's definitely lean-tos for people just in case it rains, but there's still a lot of tents, especially for the workers, for those that don't sleep on board the ships. Yeah, and they set up to camp for the evening. They absolutely... Zinji actually is very apt at making their fire. You do have to make sure that like Yana doesn't put her tent too close to the fire. And it's at least nice for, to have a warm meal for all of them, even though they don't really need it for warmth. It's nice to cook. And yeah, you get to know a few of the newer members. You catch up a little bit with some of the older members. So you get to know that, Merrick, the merfolk, he's moved since you last talked to him. He's not actually local to Fall Emerald anymore. He's actually moved to some of the straits where more of the merfolk live. He is married now, and this is kind of like he has a week vacation where every now and then he goes out with redeemers. But he's got a job now, and he's part of the the local guard for the merfolk, and is doing really good for himself. Yana, you get to learn, is actually working at the university in Full Emerald, is working at the Arcanium there. Omuri, you kind of caught up with a little bit. Apparently he has a private art gallery. Mostly, I'm going to say statues, not a lot of paintings in Full Emerald. But yeah, a lot of statues. He has a lot of opinions on the fountain statue that you were going to put there. Not a lot of great opinions, I'm going to say. Anything you wanted to know about anybody?
I think I'd want to know if Zinji would have any ideas about maybe some goblin, like, not expansion, but like kind of in this area, like little underwater.
Zinji is a gnome.
What did I say? Oh, I said goblin. Gnome. They both start with G, and I was thinking ahead. Like a little trading post or something.
So you would know. I think Zinji is
probably to about that.
Zinji is probably somebody that you, Wynni, have spoken to a lot, because Zinji also has a keen mind for invention. A lot of gnomes do. Zinji built this suit for themselves. It has, a lot of the same magics that allow for helms of underwater breathing, or the neck thing that lets it breathe puts. It is a suit that allows Zinji to actually take in water and breathe it without having a source of oxygen otherwise. And it's bulky, but she made it. Zinji, I would say that you would know that gnomes are seen every now and then. There's gnomes aboard the Redemption. I think there might be gnomes aboard the Bloodhound as well. You can see them every now and then, but you've never really seen large concentrations, like no gnome civilizations or outposts. And it's kind of one of those things where people are like, oh, I guess gnomes just, the diaspora of them just spread them wide. You would know from Zinji that's not true. That there actually is a secret home to gnomes, and it's not above the waves. It is if you're looking at the map, it is towards the southeast, and it's kind of in the center of a collection of islands. It's actually beneath the waves, where they have built this underwater set of kingdoms. Really, it's sprawling, called Netherhall. And gotcha. Okay, I saw the message you sent me. So that is easy enough. We absolutely can get Wynni a block.
I don't need it now, but I just didn't want to forget.
So yes, Zinji has actually noted that they thought about moving back for a little while, but you know, stuff gets cramped, and they like exploring the rest of the world. Um, so yeah, Winnie, I was thinking of actually moving back at some point, never harm, but you know how it is, and you go back and your family's just all up in your business, and I said I can't do this. So I decided I'm just gonna be an explorer out in the world. You know how it is. You know how it is.
Winnie is studiously not looking at Omori as she says, "Yep, sure do know how it is." Just probably having sat through multiple family meals where, you know, all of your life updates are just shared around the table.
She has this like bright neon orange hair, which now that she has taken the diving bell helmet off of her, you can see it just kind of like poofs out at different intervals.
Well, if you're looking for something fresh and exciting and kind of a fixer-upper, like, we could use help here. Lots of new water to explore around Undertow.
I mean, if you offer me a place to stay, I'm not going to turn it down.
I think that could be arranged.
Fantastic. Apparently this island isn't too big for... Wait, how does that work? It's big enough for the both of us. There we go. 2 artifices.
Yeah. I mean, you know, we could always go back to some sort of, like, friendly competitions. But, yeah, I've sort of...
Sure, what have you made lately? I've made lots of things. And she, like, has this bag about as big as she is. Starts pulling out little mechanical things. I call these things peepers. They can let you see an extra 10 feet away from where you normally would. And they're almost like binoculars that extend a little bit.
Nice. 10 feet is a lot when you need that extra 10 feet, though.
Yeah, tell that to a centipede.
Made a whole lot recently, like on my own accounting, but behold, my boy! And she's just gonna flourish little Jeffrey out into like the center, not into the fire, but like, you know, like a really bad stage magician, you know, because he doesn't appear from nowhere, just like,
yeah,
flourishes.
Yeah, you plop him out there and he just kind of like turns and looks up at you and goes, I have stage fright, uppies.
He's saying that to me, right?
Yeah.
I'm gonna pick him up. Like how you dangle a cat, just like that.
Oh yeah, and just kind of wiggle him back, see if he's got the good dangle.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's got a gyroscope in his hip, so yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
That's how he can do the floss dance. And yeah, Zinji goes, wow, Wynni, that's really neat. I know you were more into all the goopies and soupies and all the wet stuff. I know you were more into the wet stuff.
Yeah,
so
that's pretty much it as far as like my technical prowess kind of goes at this moment. But yeah,
pretty good though.
I got some juice if you want some juice. I don't actually call it juice. It's just like little elixirs. I should call it juice. Maybe then other people would try it. Here, have one. She's gonna hand over an elixir.
I'm reaching for the binder. What are we doing?
You don't need the binder. I'm giving...
Oh, we're not doing undiluted chaos? Okay. All right.
No. It is a...
Don't say it like I'm the weird one.
I don't randomly offer people the weird one.
But this would be like the person to offer it. Are you doing the weird one?
I guess that's fair. I'm gonna... Because I didn't make the other one.
Okay.
Right?
No, that's...
So I'm gonna hand over the... it's a elixir of healing.
Okay.
And which just looks like a cherry red with like little mica flakes in it.
Yeah, I've seen a health potion before. Yeah. Absolutely has the red Gatorade fruit punch look to it.
Sorry, I'm trying not to restart my computer. Yes. Well, because all her potions kind of look a little different each time she makes them. But then, like, as she's digging and, like, handing over this potion, this elixir, Well, and I do have this one, but I didn't make it. But if you want to see what it does, you can try it.
Sure, I mean you're offering.
Yeah. I got it back, right? Yeah, I got it back.
Sure, why not?
Yeah. Yeah, just, could be anything.
All right, well, fuck my soul down the hole. I will let you roll for this.
Oh wait, it's a D100, right?
It is indeed.
89.
89.
That's pretty high. I don't usually get that high.
Okay, roll again, please. Ignore rolls above 70.
Yeah. 13.
All right, so this is going to last twice as long as whatever it is.
Ignore rolls under 15.
So, I mentioned that Ziggy has like bright orange hair, like neon orange hair. Sitting here as the sun is going down, as you're sitting in front of this campfire, you start to notice that like Zinji's hair begins to give off the same kind of light glow that the fire does. And
Ooh.
You notice that Zinji's hair has actually become like neon illuminated and is glowing. So why don't you roll me a D4?
I would pay for that effect. That's pretty neat.
I mean, you can cast light on your head, I suppose.
3.
Okay. So Zinji will shed 10 feet of dim light for 6 hours. There we go.
Nice.
All right.
That's pretty good.
All right. So the night goes on. You all camp down, and we'll say the next morning, the sun rises, and as you get up from your tent, where does Wynni sleep? I guess I'll ask that.
Yeah, probably a tent. I think she probably has like a bigger tent, like one of those 4-people tents that has like a tent foyer. Like, not a real one, but you know how it like pooches out in front for like your shoes or whatever?
Sure.
Like, yeah. It's not like actual extra space, but it's just like a little, yeah.
The bougie tent. Yeah, the one with the foyer. Yeah.
Yeah, but you can't like stand up in it. Well, actually, Wynni probably could.
Anyway, okay. So, Wynni, you rise with the dawn. The halflings that have brought over chickens make sure that there are roosters to wake you all up in the morning. And yeah, you can see that everyone is still asleep in their tents. These are not seasoned adventurers who are used to waking with the dawn. But eventually they all wake up, and Fira makes sure to kind of kick a couple of tents and make sure that people are awake. You all have breakfast, and then you all make it towards your orca chariots, which have been waiting for you in the tide. And is there anything you want to do before you left?
It occurs to me now that I should program one of Little Jeffrey's sound bites to be like, wakey wakey, eggs and bakey.
Okay.
Next
is there
time.
Anything else you wanted to do before you left?
I would let someone know where I was going, because that seems smart.
Okay.
Yeah.
That would be nice. Who do you let know that you are leaving?
Oh gosh. It would also make sense for Wynni to like introduce like, well, they probably met at the birthday. So no, I was gonna say like friend group A and friend group B, but
there's a lot of nodding and yeah. Wynni feels awkward because she feels like she acts differently in both groups, but she doesn't.
I hate that. Yes.
What's that Jim Gaffigan joke? It's like, oh, and I'm gonna have a British accent around these people. Just don't ask me.
Oh no. Yeah. So, I think she will leave a little note on her door that says, like, gone hunting, but it'll have, like, treasure in parentheses.
Not like deer antlers, sure. Yeah.
Yeah. And then, like, be back approximately
gone delving.
however many days or weeks. And then, she'll make sure that she's got her bag of like adventuring stuff, and she'll pack little Jeffrey's little backpack. It's not a backpack, it's just his bag of holding, but like she'll make sure there's snacks in there and stuff.
He does have a little backpack though, just like his little Jansport. I'm going to school.
His little thermos and lunchbox.
I'm this many.
He only has 3 fingers.
Yeah.
And
I've died this many times.
Mummy prefers it if you say knocked out.
I've seen the faces of gods and devils. Every time is different. What does it mean? The void, it calls.
My poor little man. And then she will load up with everyone else, and I feel like she's forgetting something important like toothpaste or whatever, but she's good to go.
Yeah, like when he brushes her teeth. All right. You disembark with your crew. You know you have about a week until you are going to get there. The nice thing about your Orca chariots is you are never far from the surface, in case you ever did want to look out at the vast expanse of ocean. If you look at the main map, you're going to be heading southwest, more or less, towards that little stretch between Axia and Anon. That's the golden stretch right there. It's a slightly different name, Golden Path or something, but the Golden Narrows, I think is what I call it, because that's where a lot of trade is done, especially from Axia, which has a lot of precious metals and precious gems. So you're not heading directly in between those two lands, but pretty close, like the square almost right above where the top 2 points of the island.
Kind of near Dionysi?
No, the opposite. So the other end of there, since you're up near Hillholm. Yeah. You aren't far from Dionysi. Well, you're a few weeks travel from Dionysi if you ever did want to go back there.
I mean, she's been sending letters, I think we've established. So, yeah, one of those like, yeah, I'll drop by when I can, and then like there's just no good time.
So, like I said, you have about a week, maybe a little bit more of travel. Anything you would like to do in that time?
Yeah, Wynni would like to work on her memoirs.
Sure. What is Wynni's memoir called?
So long, and thanks for all the fish.
Nice. Okay. All right.
Okay, but really,
an autobiography by Nora Van.
She'll probably spend a lot of that time like catching up and talking to Zinji about alchemy stuff and seeing what Fira's working on like professionally. I guess getting all the details of Merrick's spouse out of him, like how did they meet, all that sort of stuff. Just getting to know Yana in general, and getting those rock recommendations.
Recommendations. That's very good. That's very good.
Dang. And like, you know, what is Yana's favorite kind of rock? I think that tells a lot about a person. And then I guess getting to know Omori as a person and not just a cousin that they talk to every, like...
10 years when the family reunion is.
Yeah.
I think like elven family reunions are like every like 50 years. Okay, well, let me see if I can go down some of that list. Fira is working also at the Fall Emerald Arcanium, which is how she met Yana. Because Yana is works with a lot of the researchers there. It is more of like a contractor for the Arcanium, as opposed to Fira, who is not yet tenured, but is a professor. And yeah, Fira has been mostly working on histories and also some cultural studies as well. Fall Emerald, that part of the ocean, has a very biodiverse group of humanoids, and so a lot of her work is actually on the anthropology and like the interconnections of like the eel folk and the tritons and 2 different kingdoms of sea elves and the merfolk and all of the other beings that don't necessarily like fit into that pseudo alliance, like the lizard folk, turtles, and all that. Zinji, what was your question about Zinji?
I don't think it was a question specifically. I think it was just like comparing artificer notes and like seeing if there was an interest, like what professionally she would like to do, like what would she like to like stretch her wings doing, so to speak. Like, would Undertow be a good place perhaps for a relocation? Yeah. If not, just generally catching up.
She is an adamant as a tinkerer, so she is always looking for ways to make life easier. I would compare her to every 80s or 90s movie that had a dad who was way too into inventions. So we're talking Flubber, Gremlins, Dr. Dolittle. Actually, I'm not sure Dr. Dolittle falls into that. Nutty Professor is probably a better one. Anytime
but
that you had like
what she does, right?
Sure, I'm not saying that like the stuff breaks. I'm saying it's like she's the kind of person who has a Rube Goldberg project to cook an egg, right?
Yes.
So she's always looking for something, and in a a new city, you're always looking for somebody who has a new way to deal with water infrastructure, a new way to deal with bringing in different types of ships into dock. She has a very mechanical mind, so yeah, I think she would be very helpful in city planning.
Undertow's gonna need a little bit of chaos when Wynni's not there, so.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, she is also developing that level of it where it's like, yeah, Da Vinci created, a mechanical dragon that was super cool. He did the Vitruvian Man. He also created like weapons of war and like the, Renaissance version of a nuclear bomb. That is also Zinji's deal. Zinji's like, oh, I created this great way of having like a water wheel. That's not Zinji's voice at all. Zinji was like Brooklyn. I created like a water wheel that could just power an entire city with electricity, which is a form of energy, of course. And I also created a flamethrower. It can completely copy the spell Fireball.
Wynni wants a flamethrower, please.
No.
You introduced it.
Well, I'm sorry, you're not Zinji. It's not perfected. Give me 20 years and maybe it'll be gnomish time,
Uh-huh. Fine.
Merrick has married a lovely merfolk woman named Sayana. They are, talking about starting a family. And you can tell that when he's talking about this, even as you are traveling by Orca, water pushing past you and everything, Aquan is the language of the day. And you can tell that Fira kind of gets a little sad as he's talking about this, because it probably means another member who won't have time. Yana, you ask what Yana's favorite rock is. She looks at you with the weight of 1,000 suns behind her eyes and says, limestone. And I will not be taking questions. And then just turns back. That activated the echo device, and I don't know why. All right.
Well, now I have even more questions.
Uh-huh. The yellow thing. Okay. And then yeah, Omuri, basically just it's family drama, you know. Yeah, I moved out because stuff was just getting a little too stifling for my artistic abilities, and then I really felt the artist block crush in on me, and so I just decided I would promote other artists and their voices and try to feel inspired through them, let that energy, that current really flow through me. But I found that really boring. So then I decided I would go out and I would try to find the minds of ancient peoples and the creations that they were able to do and feel inspiration there from minds that are lost otherwise to time. You know what I mean?
Yeah, actually, that does make some sense. Have you found much inspiration out in the?
No, so I thought I'd just probably steal their stuff instead. So we call that inspiration.
Okay.
I mean, who's gonna know, right? It's genius.
Does Fira look exhausted by this? Like, this is a conversation they've had before?
Fira is like, when I'm gonna say when Omuri talks, it is like Fira has a song going in her head to just block it out. Like every time it's just like, I'm walking on sunshine. Oh. Yeah, it just completely blocks Omuri out.
Good for her.
So week of travel goes by. Before you're above the surf now. The whales are kind of just, catching their breath. And you have reached where Fira has indicated that directly beneath you, according to this map, this city is it is down there. The city of Dorndrindera is beneath your feet, beneath these waves. It's up to you to find it. So I'm going to ask you, as the last time before we're kind of getting into this, is there anything you wanted to do before going beneath the waves and looking for this?
She's gonna pat the orcas on the side, like, just kind of like, hey, thanks for bringing us here and stuff, and like, hey, Fira, what's like the exit strategy here? Like,
what do you mean, Wynni?
Like, are they gonna wait for us, or like, are they gonna
the
wait
orcas?
for
Yes.
like a set amount of time and then peace out, or?
Well, they are intelligent animals, but not overly intelligent animals. I was going to put out a sea hitch for them, and they're smart enough that if they get endangered, they'll go away. If they get too hungry, they'll go away. So I suppose we had best be out within a day or so.
Okay.
I'm not expecting this to last very long, Wynni.
Yeah, no, that's fine.
If it lasts too long, something's gone very wrong.
You know how it is. Sometimes you don't know what to expect until you get down there. So, yeah.
That's why and she straightens the goggles, expect the unexpected.
Wynni is gonna straighten her own goggles. Indeed, yes. Okay, I think I'm ready. Little Jeffrey, are you ready?
You get a little as he nods his little head.
Okay. Yeah. That's.
So you all go diving beneath the waves.
I know what we said. I know what we talked about, and I've seen the other sessions. However, this does feel very much like a video game popping up with like the autosave feature, but then also asking like, do you want to save your game now? That's like, yeah, but I'm just walking to the store. Why would this be I guess I'll save it, but also, what did I miss?
Even there's no save feature in this.
I know, that's even worse.
Yeah. It'll be fine. It'll be great. I'm not going to kill you at a one-on-one. Maybe. So
That would have
you
been
all
so
go.
interesting, though. Dang it.
Yeah, I know. I know. We'll come back next week and you'll have a totally different character. Honestly, one of the best times to probably do it.
I'll just be little
Um,
Jeffrey. We've talked about that.
I'm not doing that. I can't. I won't.
Coward.
Yeah. Well. All right. You all go diving beneath the waves. Fira straightens the glasses, goes diving in. Zinji closes the faceplate on the diver's helm and kind of goes in feet first. Like the weight of the suit is what's taking them deeper. Like Fira is a sea elf. There is a grace to the way that she swims, even though she has. I'm gonna say they're not like robes. It's not the most like it's more like professorial more than anything else. They're still streamlined. It's almost like there's like a tail to the coat that she wears. That when she swims, it kind of like acts like almost a porpoise tail.
Nice.
Merrick dives in, his legs willingly changing into his beautiful tail, these oranges and again these teals. Yana already has like big flipper feet. That's something we established about the Gotham. They're not very fast on land, but as she goes diving in, those flipper feet just like propel her forward.
I love that.
Downwards, I should say. And yeah, Murray also diving in as well. Again, webbed fingers, moves a lot like wings. And you all go traveling deeper and deeper into the ocean where you are right now. What would Wynni be looking for? I'm gonna describe your surroundings, but I'm wondering what's going through Winnie's head.
Just based on her previous personal experience, I mean, she's seen the like general map, but she is going to scope out landmarks and geological formations are not her strong suit, but having been at a few of these sites, like I think there is a trend. I don't want to say consistency, but you know, if the seabed has sort of sand has kind of covered structures and whatnot, I imagine that looks a little bit different than it otherwise would.
Yeah, and I
not
would say
not
absolutely.
if it's deep enough, but like for what they're looking for. If it's that deep, you know, they're not going to go find it anyway. But, you know, from coming down straight on top of it, you know, if there's kind of sunken areas like where buildings used to be or whatever, rock fall, kind of like she experienced, notably way back when, and,
Right. Yeah, I would say that to a lot of people who would be traveling downwards towards this sunken city, they might not recognize it for what it is. There are some key identifiers which, given a little bit of study, someone would realize, oh, that's not part of the natural landscape. That's something sticking out. But to the Redeemers, this very clearly indicates a sunken pseudo civilization. There are absolute sand covers bits here and there. There is a little bit of reef. You're traveling downwards to where the reef doesn't even get enough sunlight now, and that's where it really becomes clear. You start seeing bits of statue peeking out that have significantly weathered, but you can tell that natural formations don't make that. You know, these are probably sandblasted, saltwater, you know, worn away. It's when you start noticing all of these structures that kind of culminate, like you realize as you're looking down at it, you were looking at like the layout of this city. And you know, a lot of dwarves built their homes into mountains, into hills. So you kind of look for that sort of natural structure as well. You know, they also kind of spread out around it. And as you're looking, you absolutely do see like foundations of statues. You see, as you look around them, you see where the rest of the statue has broken apart. Nothing here looks like it was attacked, I would say. Everything looks heavily weathered. And you know, as you travel down to like the base of what this hill or mountain is, you start to see structures even within it. And Firo did say that tectonic activity identified where this was, so you can see where some of the rocks have broken apart and revealed, probably recently, where there's not as much sand, some of the statues and some of the outer sconces of this keep, you know, the main part of the keep. And you can see that there is one main statue which has kind of been carved of this dwarf standing with a shield, kind of like the shield is almost as big as them, and behind them they're holding this rather geometric looking sword which is kind of down at their side, and this crown helm kind of on top of them. Get a clear idea that even though it's very worn, this is probably the crown helm that you put something similar to it. You start seeing other statues as well, and all these geometric formations which indicate perhaps entrances, perhaps ventilation. What are you looking to do here?
I'm going to take a second to just kind of commit everything as much to memory as possible. And I would also kind of be keeping a weather eye out for signs of life, like two things. One, obviously, like other sentient creatures, but also like if there's no sea life, or you know, if there's like a weird amount of sea life,
an absence of it, certainly.
Yeah, something that we should be worried about.
You're not deep enough that sunlight isn't like seen here. You're in the like kind of dim light, I would say, is how deep at this point. There are absolutely fish moving about. There's absolutely sea life. Nothing I would say significantly large. You know, you might notice a sizable octopus, not abnormly sizable, but you know, like like a Pacific octopus. You know, the Pacific giant octopus is camouflaging itself as it's moving along the sandy bottom where you are. Otherwise, a couple of schools of fish moving about. You don't see any major predators or anything like that. There might be a sea turtle, or a couple of sea turtles which are moving by. Yeah, otherwise it's pretty quiet here. There is some sea life which can, some flora which can survive with the limited sunlight where you are. Yeah, I would say nothing else that's giving off a malicious vibe by any means.
I think just especially on the heels of the Hydra, where like there was, you know, the
Certainly.
blight on the island, or especially not knowing why the city locked down before the deluge. Like, you know, if there's some sort of weird magic thing that is causing like mutated creatures or something, just like,
Sure.
Wynni's just like a little paranoid at this point.
So it's as everybody is looking around. Wynni, you hear a call come out from Zinji, who has been kind of looking around and using some sort of what you probably imagine has to do with like detect magic. She has these goggles which have kind of come over the faceplate, and she calls out to all of you. And as you come rushing over, she goes, I think I found what we were looking for. And she's presenting in front of her this set of doors, pretty sizable set of doors. She kind of like swims up a little bit and gives like a smack as hard as she can on the doors themselves, and all of this sand and kind of sediment just kind of slaps off. And as it is drifting in the water, you, Wynni, actually everybody would be able to notice a glint kind of coming from beneath it. And you would notice that these doors are mithril. And so there is this like white shine kind of coming from where the light the dim light is just hitting them to give off a little bit of gleam.
That seems unusual. Is that?
It's
that's an Eva question because like mithril is.
It's not gaudy. I mean, when you have, I'm going to say dwarves are. It is important in dwarven kingdoms to display power by displaying wealth. So a big way to display wealth, if you have enough mithril, make your gates out of it. That's going to make a real good protection for anybody trying to, batten those things down.
Fair enough.
So yeah, they apparently had enough mithril reserves. I'm going to say if you're looking at the doors like that, the thing that you notice that's super weird about them is that yes, these are mithril doors, but they are barred with adamantine bars from this side. They have been barred from the outside.
Oh. Well, this doesn't bode well for the city anyway. Who wants to help me give these a lift?
Fira kind of looks at you and goes, I'm not actually sure that's the best idea. If we lift these off and open these doors, first of all, it's going to take an immense amount of strength because these are massive doors and we'd be trying to push against the weight of the water.
Right. The air.
Where's their seal? Oh, sure. The air. Yes, the air seal. But also we could absolutely flood what is potentially not flooded. Yeah. We should probably look for a ventilation of some sort, or perhaps even some sort of escape door. That would be ideal.
Well, I'll go right, you go left.
Split up, gang. You all go swing around this structure, realizing now as you're kind of like brushing sand off here and there, that this was rather ornately carved. That this mountain, hill, whatever you want to call it, it's hard to tell the size because probably a lot of it has been worn away. But as you're kind of brushing sand off here and there, you can tell that the natural formation was itself carved. And when you come across where you are as you're brushing sand off, a number of statues that you would recognize familiarly, symbols of the dwarven pantheon. And I'm going to say you absolutely do come up to a statue of one of your patron deities, Hensieth.
No, don't say it like I have more than one.
You do, though.
Hensieth and
Turtlemac.
It's not like an actual patron.
You made a pact and devoted your soul to Turtlemac.
Not on purpose. Like,
it was on purpose.
Well, not like
Wynni has two patron deities.
Okay. Well,
plus a little bit of the sea elf god.
Well, yeah, but that one's like a family thing. Yeah,
that's when Wynni goes to church on Sundays.
I guess she's just gonna like brush off a little bit of like debris from the Hensieth like statue and just be like, hey, yeah, sorry about your city and stuff. We're gonna take a quick look at it and see what happened here, so I hope you don't mind. Also, yeah, I'll see what I can do about the Turtlemac thing, because I feel like that I'm getting a weird impression that maybe that's a thing with a capital T and not just like a... Yeah.
So the statue does not react. It's not like it comes to life and goes, I don't forgive you. I'm going to say this statue is different than a lot of the statues of Hensieth that you've seen in the past. A lot of statues of Hensieth have, open hands for offerings. A lot of gods, appreciate offerings. This one Its hand is like on its left is on its hip, and it is holding I'm going to say a bottle over its open mouth. And Winnie, as you are inspecting this statue, the mouth actually looks hollow, like there is a tube that leads down this statue to somewhere.
Like a little tube, right? Not like a...
Like something you could probably fit your arm down, like your forearm. But yeah, no deep.
I'm gonna get like a little Jeffrey. I'm gonna use his gem of brightness to just kind of peek in the tube. Can I see anything in there?
It is metallic. The gem of brightness goes only down so far. It goes down quite deep. And I'm going to say that it is strangely corroded in different parts.
Does the bottle move?
Yeah, we're not doing rolls or anything in this. So, yeah, I'm going to say if you go to move the bottle, you would notice that it kind of tips back and the bottle itself is hollow. And as you tip it back, the arm kind of moves and goes like to meet where the mouth is. And you see as you do that, all of these blue runes illuminate around the statue itself. And with a slight rumble that kind of reverberates through the sand, you see like the sandy bottom kind of just like pushes up just briefly and settles back down. You would see that the statue begins to move and push back. And before long, you have a short hallway in front of you. I'm going to say like there's another doorway that's maybe about 20 feet. So this room very quickly floods as this doorway kind of opens up, and you have another doorway. So it's almost maybe like a dry dock sort of area, something. You found a hidden door, and there's a mudroom, sure. And yeah, absolutely, with the reverberation that goes through the sand, all of your companions swim along to find you there as well. Hey, great job, Wynni!
I found a thing.
You absolutely did.
Welp. Little Jeffrey
time to do
first,
it.
I guess.
All right, then.
Just because he's got a good bright light.
And yeah, little Jeffrey goes in to illuminate this room. You'd see that there are dwarven runes, dwarven carvings all over the walls, and a much smaller door, which is at the far end.
Hey, friends, redeemers, country folk. Whom's here speaks Dwarven or can read Dwarven? I feel like I probably should have asked this earlier.
They just look around at each other. No, sorry. Cool.
Okay.
We kind of thought you did because of your affinity for the one god.
I mean, I kind of just speak to him from my heart. You know, I feel like that transcends material languages.
Okay.
Okay, so that's fine. I got this. I don't think I got this. Nope. Cool. So, are there, any, Handseeth, related runes I might recognize, whether or not I know what they mean? I feel like I would have understood, like...
You know what, Eva, I will tell you this. I do not want to derail. You made these NPCs. if you think one of these NPCs would validly have Dwarven in their repertoire, I will say they know Dwarven. I don't want to undermine that.
I don't. I feel like Fira would probably have like the Fodor's guide to like sea elf / dwarven though. Like she would have come prepared even if it wasn't like a translator. Like she'd probably have like a little guide, even if it's not comprehensive, of just
all right.
Or Dwarven to common or something like.
So then Fira flipping through this guide trying to figure out, it says something about
Look, Wynni has been learning Elder. She has wanted to learn Dwarven, but it just hasn't happened yet. Okay, like it's hard to learn multiple languages at a time.
It says something about, may this secret pathway of last hope bring you to a brighter tomorrow, something along those lines.
Better than bless this mess.
This looks like it might have been a secret escape hatch of some sort. Dwarves love having secret doors.
I mean, who doesn't, right? I should put one on the Redemption. Anyway.
Secret doors don't do well on ships. I'm just gonna throw that out there.
They do if you do them right. What if we... Is there anything in this room besides runes? Like, there's no, like, bodies or anything, right? I feel like you would have mentioned if there were bodies. Okay.
No
You're
bodies.
Legally obligated to...
It is filled with water. I should note that. You can close the path that you came through. There is, like, kind of, I'm not going to say a doorknob, but a way that you can activate the other side of the statue. So you can essentially, like, seal this room that you are in.
Okay.
And go through the other door. I will say that this other door is not locked. It is metal. From what you can tell in
regular
this room,
metal?
The metal is, yes, like steel. It is not corroded in any way, so likely this room, well, because you saw it fill with water. Yeah. It did not have any water in it before. The stone has, I would say, some reliefs on it, mostly of like dwarven battles. A lot of like warthog riders, mountain goat riders that are facing off against this enemy of shields and spears, this enemy of archers on either side. And then, yeah, Fira did give you the, the basics of what it says kind of along the wall.
And it's not a very big room, right? Like,
I'd say 20 feet long, probably like 15 feet wide, yeah.
Okay, that's a lot of water. But, I guess we're just gonna have to risk whatever's on the other side of that door. Like, I mean, it's not gonna be people, right? So.
Well, hopefully not. If they've been down here for this long, I'd feel real bad for them.
I mean, I guess it's doable, but not great. Especially not if you're locked in. I really don't like the locked in thing. That's a bad sign.
Nothing that we can't handle.
Yeah. They didn't say anything about, like, what Queen Lofna. Oh, that isn't in. Was like known for or anything, right? Like,
well, I mean, they said that Dorndrin Daroth was a site of, again, invention and creativity. Lofna was a patron of new technologies, new inventions.
Okay.
Innovations.
Okay, so already a big fan.
New weapons, new technologies, new everything. They had supposedly a pretty decent mine here, and a lot of really creative minds to help put things together in new and inventive ways.
Zinji, like, looking at this door, we agree this doesn't really look like it's gonna lock behind us too much.
Nah, I'd say we'd have a way out, if nothing else.
I mean, it's
if you're really worried about it,
we can.
If you're really worried about it, we can leave, Merrick or Murray out there to make sure we get out. At the very least, they could take the bars off the front door.
How would we communicate that to them?
Knocking. And I think Fira's probably got a sending spell or two.
Yeah. Again, not looking at Marie. Like, the faith isn't there. Yeah, I mean, we're probably fine. Let's close this door and on to the next room or courtyard.
Merrick actually pipes up. I'm sorry. I don't mean to make a deal out of this. I am going to hang back. It's Wynni, your mentions of the bars and the doors and everything. It's weirding me out, and I have something to live for. No offense to any of you. I'm going
that
to.
Tracks. Okay.
If you need anything, sending spell. I will be out here, and I can
be safe.
Door as heck, move the bars off the door. I'll be fine. You all
Eyes
go
up.
get it.
Make friends with a sea turtle, or something.
All right then.
I think little Jeffrey's gonna ask for a high five.
And little Jeffrey puts up the five. Merrick goes to slap it. He goes, too slow. Down low.
That means he likes you.
All right then. All right. And he
okay.
pats the little hand.
Ah.
Okay. All right. So Merrick goes out of the door, seals it behind you, with a chunk, and the water doesn't really go anywhere. Fortunately for you all, the door does open inwards on the other side. And as are you opening the door, or are you having someone else?
I would if it seemed like I could do it by myself, because I have no self-preservation. I was seeing if I had destroy water, but I don't. Is that even a thing?
Create or destroy water, yeah.
Yeah, it's only create water. Food or water. I have so few useful water spells. It is hilarious. Then yeah, I'm just gonna you have to see where you're going with teleport, right?
I believe so.
Okay, then yeah, I'll just open the door.
I think teleport, you're just going to open the door. I'm not going to make you waste a spell on this. There's nothing that's going to kill you on the other side. What is it?
It's my boots.
Okay, what do your boots say?
I teleport 15 feet.
Okay, so it's using the teleport spell.
But I don't cast it.
I understand. It's still the spell, honey.
Right, but it doesn't like take a spell slot or anything, is what I'm saying.
I understand that.
Okay,
it's still using the rules of the spell.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. Yes.
Okay, that's what I'm trying to figure out. So we're not even going to worry about it. You're going to open the door, but I will look it up for when we come back from break. As you open the door, and it opens inwards towards the keep, the water begins to flood out of the room. We'll say Zinji kind of like catches the edge of the door. The weight of her suit, fortunately, doesn't let her get swept away with it, which is nice, because as you all kind of walk into the greater keep, which is laid out before you, you can see that you are on an upper walkway, and that the mine itself goes deeper and deeper into this, almost impossibly, into this crevasse below, where the city seems to have been built into the walls of this kind of spiral around it. And the mine just goes, you can't even hear where the water hits. It's so far down. And that's where we're gonna leave it. I'll describe more of that when we come back from break. So stick around, folks. We'll be back in like 10 to 15 probably. We're probably shorter than that. We'll be back in like 10. Take care of yourselves, and we'll be back. Thank you. Oh, Vast and welcome back. Ahoy, everybody, and all of that nonsense. Welcome back to Horizon's Call. This is the last in our very special series of character development episodes. The last for right now, I should say. We might do these in the future. This was a wonderful way to deal with scheduling conflicts. Consider that for the future, folks. I am joined, of course, by the very lovely Eva, who's playing the one and only Winora Evandriel, Wynni to her friends. And yeah, we're going to jump back into it. Before we do, I do want to say, if you enjoy Horizon's Call, if you enjoy the cast, the crew, honestly, how could you not? Consider supporting them through tips to our Pally. Everything gets evenly distributed that you give there without like doing it through Twitch and getting the weird cut that Twitch takes. And if you do, it's appreciated. It goes directly to the channel, paying for license and stuff. I much prefer that you tip through Pally and support our cast there. And if you do, you can impact our game. You can impact the upcoming game. This is a live session, but except for things getting real bad, you know, like I'm not going to kill off Wynni in a one-on-one. That's not fair to anybody. We're not doing any roles in this session, so we'll pay it forward to the next one. That all said, let's go ahead and jump back into stuff. So, Wynni, you have opened a secret hatch, a secret door in the side of a long sunken dwarven citadel, essentially this city of innovation and illumination. And within you find not that. I'm going to say it probably was that at one time. But whereas this probably was a well-lit city full of life, you find a dark, cold chasm. There are walkways all around the outer edge of this now basically hollowed out mountain. You can see what
absolutely not.
What?
I just had an idea of what this could be, and now I'm upset. Is it like that Czech castle?
The Huska Castle?
Yeah.
Yeah, you know way too much about cryptozoology, thanks to me.
Oh no.
I'm not gonna confirm or deny that.
Oh no. Rip Wynni.
So what sort of light sources is your party giving?
Little Jeffrey is probably the primary.
Oh, sure.
Because he can like
yes,
float around.
Yeah, like he has unhinged his jaw all the way, and like a little disco ball has popped up of this gem of brightness, which is just spinning and giving off brightness in your area. You can see that there is glittering on the walls all around you, these carved walls indicating that this probably was a mineral-rich mountain. You can see that there are statues which are built in. There's intricate carvings, there are runes everywhere. These walkways are very well built. Nothing is ramshackle, nothing is ill-maintained. It's almost as if everything's just frozen in time. So there are braziers, there are torches, there are sources of light which you could illuminate. There's actually what I'm going to call a chandelier hanging from the highest point above the chasm, which could very likely be illuminated with some sort of type of fire spell, and would probably illuminate pretty deep down from what you could tell. It's almost like an artificial sun. A lot of dwarves use this type of technology, this type of magic. You would see that the walkway you're on leads downwards. There are stairways leading downwards. There are different doors and entrances carved all through the mountain. And yet you, like I said, the water poured out from the other room. You watched it go over this banister. There are railways, like railings, I should say, railings. So you're not just going to fall over, but you could not see or hear where the water eventually landed, if in fact it ever did. So that's where we are. Where would you and your party like to go?
I would like to know if the stairway that we're on, and if the majority of them stone or wood. Like, I would assume stone, but I don't want to assume
it is stone. This is absolutely carved from the natural formation of the mountain itself.
Okay.
So there are different types of stone. There are different strata as you go downwards as well. But like the weaker types of stone are supported. So yeah, again, this has been frozen in time. There's been like no wind. There's been no water. There's been nothing to degrade the area that you're in.
Hey, Zinji, what's your magical detecting goggle? What do they see? Anything weird? Anything?
Nothing weird. There's they've got deposits of, it looks like mithril, probably iron, a little bit of gold, some adamantium, a little bit here and there. They probably dug up a lot of the major ore deposits. It's just a little bit here and there in the walls. The thing up there is probably meant to give off light. It's got some sort of ambient hum to it, but hasn't been activated in a long time. Otherwise, it's pretty cold in here. Nothing significant that I can tell.
Seems like a bad idea to just like barge in and turn the lights on, but we could, I guess. Does Yana seem particularly interested in any of the stonework, I guess? Like, I'm not even gonna ask, I'm just gonna see if there's any, like... I'm trying to judge by her reaction how excited she is, like, if there's something worth asking about.
Yana, already being a Lokatha, hard to gauge their reaction. Like, their favorite stone is here. There is limestone. The Redeemers a lot of times will take notes on stuff. That's a real big part of research they do. It's not just all about treasure hunting. It's about, the stories you make along the way. Yeah. So Yana absolutely has like a little chisel and just chisels a little bit of the rock wall and puts it into like a little bag and seals it up, and then moves over 2 feet, chisels a little bit of the rock wall and puts it in her bag.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, I mean, there's just a lot of notes. Like, Fira absolutely is just jotting, again, feverishly, everything that they see. This Dwarven Keep is almost over 1,000. Well, it's been in this stasis for almost 1,000 years.
And do we see bodies or anything? Like, skeletons, probably? No. Like, we see nothing.
You don't see any type of life for current or former where you are.
Do we hear anything?
We're not doing any rolls. I'm going to say that.
Is there anything like
in a space like this?
Yeah.
You can hear something further down. It might just be,
water or
ambient noise, water. It could even be your own echoes. You are giving off an echo at certain points.
So basically up or down?
Yeah, pretty much.
Well, on the one hand, I would think that if the helm were in a vault, it would probably be down. If the helm was on somebody at the time of all of this, could be anywhere. Figuring out what happened could go either way. Why don't we just take a little quick jaunt upstairs and see what there's to see up there, and then we can always pop back downstairs for a little reclamation.
So you go upstairs. Again, there are a number of doorways that you probably presume are domiciles more than anything else along the walls.
Wynni's just going to open doors.
Okay. Some are locked.
Sure.
A lot of stone doors, I'm going to say. There's not a lot of wood here. The only wood that there is in things that like don't have a lot of value, like buckets, and like there's rope to hold things up. Like there's wood in things that need to be flexible, but otherwise stone is the name of the game. So yeah, you open some doors. You can see that in here. You open one of the domicile doors, and you can see pretty simple living quarters. There is a table. There are plates. everything again looks frozen in time, like there was a meal happening centuries ago, almost a millennia ago, that was just left where it was. No people, no dwarves. It's like that in a lot of places, almost like stuff was dropped right where it was. Things that are knocked over. You get to one of the higher levels, and there is this more open space that's kind of been utilized, where there's more of a flooring. So it's not just all around the sides. There's an actual like level that you can walk off on. And you can see here there are, again, a number of reliefs that are carved into the wall, all different types of much more archaic dwarven artist style. Artistic style. A lot of dwarven style has geometric shapes to it. This one even more so. This is almost like, if you're comparing like Dark Ages art to Renaissance art. The Norman tapestry versus like Michelangelo. There's a very clear difference too. And hold on, I'm reading chat here. Give me 1 second.
Oh yeah.
Okay. Oh yeah. All right. That's it. Yeah. That's right. So
and Wynni is going to keep an eye on Zinji just to see like if there's any like, I assume like she'd say if like, oh, this is lighting up like.
It's funny you mentioned that. So Zinji is scanning the walls. This almost looks like a community kind of area. There's a lot of tables, a lot of stone benches. Again, a lot of stuff that's like either left in place or like knocked over as if somebody did it accidentally in a hurry. Mm-hmm. And Zinji is scanning the walls before they kind of like, you watch their head just backtrack a little bit, and they just go walking up their little heavy metal boots. Like that's weird. Hey, Wynni, what do you think? What do you think this? And as she turns to look at you, a portion of the wall jumps out at her and like knocks her to the ground and goes running past you.
Oh, it just knocked her down?
Yeah.
So she's fine. I would like to run after the wall.
Okay. You can absolutely do so. It is a portion of like, it almost looks like stone plaster in humanoid form, which is running.
I'd like to throw my net at it.
You throw your net, and tactfully, just as it
one
reaches,
of my nets,
one of your nets, just before it topples down the stairs, it is able to fall backwards. It is kind of scrambling to get out of the net. And as you see this entity in the net now, they are wearing clothing, which is maybe a little too small for them. They are normal human, I'm going to say like human-sized. They have these bright green eyes, almost like illuminated eyes, which are peeking up from the stonework itself. But otherwise, their skin, their body looks as if they are like a statue almost come to life, but not as well carved as a statue might be. Like a roughshod wall just kind of like popped out and took human form. They have 3 fingers, should note that. But they don't have any noticeable nose, mouth, ears. It's just 2 eyes on an otherwise stone face.
I don't. But does Wynni know? Like, does this seem at all like something Wynni would be able to identify?
I'm going to give this to you because Wynni is an artificer. Wynni would have probably heard about these types of beings in the past. I'm not sure Wynni would have ever met them. They're very rare. Wynni, you might reason this is an etherborn.
Oh.
So
given
etherborn,
that it ran, she's not too like concerned.
Yeah, it's not armed, from what you can tell. Etherborn are beings that
Aren't
are
they, like,
created from
magical though. Like armed is sort of.
They're magical in the way
D&D.
that like technically elves are magical. I guess. I mean, they are born from magical energy, but in a world of magic, so is technically everything else.
Yeah, so they don't inherently have spells, for example.
They might. They very well might.
Yeah, but I mean, like, they might or they might not. Not necessarily like they always do.
I'm going to say a lot like tieflings, a lot like elves. I believe Aetherborn are born with
something, anyway.
Yes, they are created with spells. Aetherborn are created from bursts of magical energy, oftentimes magical experimentation. If too much of a natural material absorbs like chaotic magic, it will coalesce into a consciousness, and then that little bit of conscious wall,
Wynni has a
wood,
new best
stone,
friend.
whatever, will plop out and be a person.
Hi, hello, bienvenue, willkommen,
Welcome.
Glück Suzanne. No, hi. It's okay, we're not gonna hurt you. Also, we're not that far away from the rest of the group, right? Like,
all the group is there. They have kind of gathered around you.
Yeah. We're not gonna hurt you, we have a couple questions. Sorry about the net. And she's gonna
they've
cycle
pulled the net
through
off of them
her languages.
and are like they're holding up their hands just kind of defensively. That's all right.
Yeah, we're all right. Are you all right?
I'm well.
Good. Hi, I'm Wynni.
I'm sorry for pushing your friend.
I can't accept an apology on her behalf, but I understand that you were probably scared. Hey, Zinji, you're okay, right? Like,
yeah, I'm fine. Whatever. It's not a big deal.
Yeah. Okay.
I don't remember the last time I saw anyone. You're Wynni?
I'm Wynni. And this is Fira, and this is Zinji, and this is Yana, and this is, Omuri. And this is little Jeffrey. It's okay if you don't really consider him a person.
Why would I not?
I don't know, some people are kind of rude about it.
Some people.
You must have been here a long time, huh?
I don't know. I am Waller.
That makes sense. That's a good name. What's the last thing you remember before we got here and before...
Silence?
Yeah, before silence, what happened? There's probably a lot of silence, I'm guessing, but I'm also super curious if there wasn't a lot of silence.
Sometimes there's not silence, and that's not good.
What does the not silence sound like?
Wow.
Okay. Fair. I'm
glad it's fair.
Yeah. Do you hear that often?
No.
Okay. Did you hear that recently?
That's why I stay up here.
Is it down below?
What is recent?
Yeah, probably not a lot of whole, like, time passage stuff. I mean, there's probably dwarven clocks, right? Do you wander around a lot, or do you just kind of stick around here?
Yes.
I'm really glad we got that sorted. Do you remember a time when there were other people around here? Like,
Yes.
Okay. Where did they go?
Some of them are still here.
What are they up to?
Oh, they're not up at all.
Okay, that tracks. Do you know what caused them to stop moving? She's giving Fira a look like I don't know. I'm doing my best.
Yes, the raw thing.
The raw thing.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Will Jeffrey make a
They
recording of the raw sound, please?
tried teaching me some things, but I did not learn what that was before they stopped teaching.
Do you know what they were trying to teach you?
Lots of things.
Did they say what they were?
Language.
Ooh.
I learned some bits about forging and alchemy and innovation and magic.
Wynni is gonna look past Waller at Zinji and just be like, just mouth the words "new best friend."
Like all of them kind of turn to you and go,
Okay, so
why are you all here?
Well, we are two reasons, really. Three now. First, I think we want to, now that we know you're here, be sure that you're okay. And, ask if you would like to not be here anymore. Because you could probably come with us. I'll admit that wasn't like our first priority coming in, but you know, plans change. Secondarily, we were looking for a helm, like a little thing, that Queen Lofna probably used to wear. And
I met her.
Did you? Was she nice? She seemed kind of neat.
I don't remember.
Anyway. Okay, well.
She died. She's down there.
Okay. I'm about to ask a question that I need to know the answer to, but I kind of don't want to know the answer to.
I'm prepared.
Great. Thank you. Did she die violently?
No.
Okay. Good.
Her tomb is down there. It's very nice.
Oh, okay. Did she die before the city was walled off? Before everyone was locked inside?
Not everyone was locked inside.
Who wasn't locked inside?
Those that are still here.
Who was locked inside then?
I'm sorry, I misunderstood your question.
Oh, okay.
Those that are still here were locked inside. Those that left were those that were fast enough.
Was there a warning before the city was locked? Maybe not much of one.
Warning is a strange word for imminent threat.
Do you know what the threat was?
Yes.
Okay. She does the I'm sorry, it's Wynni. Wynni is gonna do like the she has to do the hand motions with it. Does it ever like come up here? Have you ever seen it?
Yes.
How can you describe what it looks like?
Big. And what are your cubic measurements?
Or at least a good approximation. Eva does not. So Wynni will say what that is. Wynni will, with her artificer knowledge, give a pretty good description of
let me see if I can look up this thing.
We'll go with the artificer's like interpretation of truck sized. We'll start with that.
Let's see. There's 4 of you currently, so there's
well, 5 because I'm also counting Waller.
Oh, bigger, yes.
Okay, what about double that?
No, smaller than that.
Okay, like right in between.
Split the difference, sure. Big wings, horns, very tough skin.
Like a
deadly
dragon?
No, I know what a dragon is.
Like a basilisks don't have wings. I'm trying to think if Wynni would know. Oh god. It only has one head, right? And I'm just gonna turn to the group.
It collected several when I saw it.
I told you I was out if there was another Hydra. I just can't do Hydras back to back. Okay, it collects heads?
It did for a little bit. I think it got bored of that.
Okay. Did it do anything with the heads? Did it eat them?
Made a little pile?
Okay, well, a pile's
It doesn't
something.
eat.
Does this sound like something Wynni would know? Based on the description?
I'm gonna go with no on it.
Okay, that's fair. I just, again, Eva didn't know, so like. So.
It carries thunder and fire.
Ooh. Oh. Okay. So. But Queen Lofna died before it showed up, right?
Correct.
Yeah, okay. Do you know
I'm sorry, I've answered a lot of your questions. You get to answer mine.
What questions do you have for us? I'm happy to answer questions.
Well, I wanted to know who you were, and you answered that. And I wanted to know why you were here, and you answered that. And I want to know how I can help you.
Oh, you've been helping us by answering questions. Is there anything else we can answer for you?
No.
Would you like to
leave?
Right
now. When you say that, they kind of illuminate from the inside, that green energy that's kind of coming from behind their eyes. You realize it's not just their eyes. It's like there's hollowness to the stone, and you can kind of see all the cracks along where their stone body has made these cracks to accommodate their movement. All just kind of like illuminate real quick. And it looks and says, I've never done that before. I would be interested.
There's more people outside, and there's a whole world. Really.
Sounds like a lot.
It's a lot, but you can also just find your own little corner of it and take it as you want. You can just be in your little quiet space, and you can just venture out as you wish. And that way you have a choice instead of just being trapped somewhere. But if this is your home and you don't want to leave, we're not going to make you leave.
I don't feel forced.
Good.
I have no reason to stay here. I had no reason to go before. But now it sounds like I do.
Okay, so kind of half addressing her group. So probably the helm is down below in the tomb, not crypt.
Right.
You said tomb, right? Which is also where the rawr thing is.
Sort of. It's deeper than that. We just have to be quiet.
Oh,
I'm happy to show you, but we need to stop at the forge first if we do, so I can get my things.
Yeah, that would be great. I feel like Fira either already knows this or actually probably said who was the leader when the city shut down or was disappeared. Not disappeared, but like was...
Queen Lofna is the last person that's listed in the records.
Oh. Do you know who took over after Queen Lofna?
No one. They didn't have much of a chance.
So Queen Lophna was buried, and then kind of everything happened all at once.
Her funeral was rather eventful
Okay.
and deadly.
Oh, okay. But some people survived?
And those that could run fast enough.
The ones that escaped the city.
Yes.
And no one else is alive except for you and the...
I'm not sure either of us are technically alive.
Is there anyone kind of in the middle like you two?
Yes, my friend Percival.
Where's Percival?
At the forge.
Okay, so we'll see Percival when we get your things?
He is my things.
Perfect. Okay. I don't suppose you know, like, is there some sort of, like, little city record book or journal or anything around here somewhere? The dwarves are pretty crafty. I don't suppose a millennia ago they had some sort of security system. Like a sentry spell.
What are you asking?
I am looking for, and I was gonna say this right before Zingy like stumbled across Waller, but like Wynni would love to find like like a journal of somebody like in the middle of kind of Monty Python-esque like you know, the X is coming. Like, something that just succinctly says, like, oh no, like, Queen Lophna died, and now, you know, I won't get to enjoy this pot pie I just set on the kitchen table. It's fine if there's not, but, like...
you have to understand that around Lophna's tomb are many of the scribes and dignitaries and royals of the city that didn't make it out. If you're going to find a book, perhaps it is there. Otherwise, we could stop the library, but that would not have the most up-to-date information. In fact, I worry that it is rather out of date.
I mean, the library's not going anywhere, right? We can always come back for it. Like, because also, like, millennia-old information is pinging, in her brain, like how cool that would be, and she's looking at the group like, please confirm for me that like going to the library is a bad idea.
I mean, if you want to go to the library, we can go to the library. We're probably going to stop there anyway.
Okay, but I only have like one bag of holding. But okay, yeah, like let's just head on down. Is there anything you need up here? Hey, why were you up here? Just hiding from the rawr?
I was hiding from all of you. I heard you come in, and that was
Also
worrying
fair.
to me.
We were kind of loud. Before we head down, is there a better way out than... She's going to describe where they came from, in a way that would make sense for Waller.
I know the escape hatch. That's where many people were able to escape from, that and the front doors. I would say your escape hatch is likely the best one.
Okay.
It's the last one that isn't buried.
Okay. Great. Okay. I'm sorry we scared you.
I forgive you.
Thanks.
Here's your net back.
Hey, thanks. Sorry. She's gonna gather it up. I don't know how much Wynni knows about them. Like, do they consume anything? Is there?
Not a lot of people don't know anything about them. I think Wynni could reason that if they've been living down here for gods know how long, probably don't.
Yeah.
They don't have a mouth, so.
Yeah. Okay. um. Uh. I mean, maybe they eat magic. I don't know. Like she's willing to burn a spell slot, but yeah, great, cool, cool, cool. Okay, well, and she's gonna look at everyone, including Waller. Are we ready to head down?
They all just nod at you.
Okay.
Yes, I think that's a great idea, Wynni. Let's okay. Sounds like we have a guide.
Yeah, maybe we should be a little quieter on the way down.
You're absolutely right. Just
yeah. Okay. All right.
You all travel downwards, led by Waller, until you get to an area that has a much larger kind of like carve-out door. It's completely open, and you're about, let's say, a couple hundred feet lower from where you were at this point. And within is, very notably, a forge. Molten slag, still glowing hot. There's a light which is coming from inside here. And Waller walks in. Welcome to one of the main forges. This is where we harnessed much of the mithril and adamantium and other interesting metals that we were able to find here.
It's quite nice.
Thank you. Percival claps their hands, and when you would watch as a little automaton, very similar, I think, in kind of the general structure of Jeffrey. It's like a cat, but it has 6 legs. And
Derek,
it comes.
If anything happens to Percival, the show is over.
It comes slinking out, all 6 legs kind of working in unison. I noticed your friend Jeffrey. I also have a friend similar to Jeffrey that I built. This is Percival. And it opens its mouth just like the jaw, and he just goes, Mow.
Percival,
I had heard of cats before, but never.
You.
I had never seen a cat before. I believe this is a general construction of one, by my best estimates.
It's very good. Hi, Percival. Jeffrey, wave hello.
Jeffrey is just petting Kitty. Kitty.
Good, perfect.
Well, I have my bag of things. Say, while we are here, your Jeffrey looks like he is made of, and I do not mean any offense by this, but mundane materials. Is that correct?
They were the best I had at the time, yes. They are, she's gonna cover his non-existent ears again. Kind of basic, yes.
Would you like any improvements?
Yes. Please. He needs all the help he can get because he helps me a lot. And I've been told I'm kind of a disaster.
Oh. You belong here then. Let me see what I can put together for him. And I'm going to say at that point, Waller goes over to the open doorway and presses their hand against it for it to, like this stone slab, to slide closed. We don't need to be making more noise than necessary. And they take a little bit of time. I'm going to say it's much faster than you would imagine. It probably takes about 10 minutes. And they kind of just like pick Jeffrey up and put him into a mold, slap the mold on him, create a little Jeffrey mold. And then they're taking a little tinker hammer and almost like molding it with their hands. Like the molten metal doesn't seem to hurt them very much. And before long, they kind of like throw a little piece of Jeffrey over their shoulder, throw another piece. And I'm going to say that after about 10-15 minutes, they swing around and they have little Jeffrey. He has the same form that he had before, except now he's got this like different types of glints coming off of different parts of him. I have updated your Jeffrey with mithril and adamantium. He shall be quieter and he shall be strong.
Little
More
Jeffrey,
durable.
that's so exciting. Thank you so much. That means a lot.
I am unto a god.
I really worry about little Jeffrey, and I appreciate all the help that you have given both of us.
It's the least I can do for a friend.
Wynni is like there are tears brimming. Like, this is like the most anime Wynni will ever be, is like someone else volunteering the word friend first.
They turn to the others and go, your friend is leaking.
She does this, it's fine.
Very well. Onwards then. The library is the next level beneath us. The ambient heat from the forge helps keep the dampness out.
Oh, that's smart.
So you all would travel a little bit lower. I'm gonna say that your friend's Fira is still, paying attention to, looking around at everything. Zinji still has the goggles out. Every now and then they peek over into the chasm and just kind of look up and just shrug their shoulders. It's when you get to the level of the library, they peek over and look up at you specifically and go, there's something down there. It's just a little dot, but there's something down there.
Yeah, is it friend-shaped?
It's not friend colored, I'm going to tell you that.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, that light it is giving off is not good.
What color is it?
Bad.
Okay. You're not gonna tell me the school magic?
No, because I'm gonna treat this more like a detect good and evil sort of thing.
Okay.
I'm gonna say Zinji's little invention has like detect magic plus detect good and evil, and or like the paladin thing that they have.
Yeah.
And it's picking up on something bad.
Okay. I will not cast my own detect magic. I'm relying on Zinji for that. So bad works. Hey, so do you know, is this thing like sound activated, sight activated, scent activated?
Who are you asking and what are you asking about?
I'm asking
Waller,
since Zinji just has like a bad feeling.
Yeah, Waller turns around and goes, it's a book, Wynni. It's, I suppose, sight activated. That's an odd question.
Oh, no, the RAR thing. Is the RAR thing a book?
Oh, no. Activated is an interesting word. Let me see what this thing
takes people's heads. Is it because they were loud?
It's because they were close enough to it.
Okay.
You have to understand, Wynni, there was one main attack on this. There wasn't anybody left standing when the doors closed. Except me. And Percival.
Everybody was at the funeral. That's
correct.
Oh.
As I said, it was very eventful.
Was there a reason? Like, was there something weird about the funeral? Like, do we know why it showed up?
I believe it was a bad culmination of events.
Okay.
I believe that our minds were too bold in their endeavors.
Okay,
But I have never read the scholar's writings. Perhaps you will uncover more.
We'll find out.
What kind of books were you in the market for?
The, like, rare knowledge ones.
More specific, please?
I
have read many of them, and I'm not sure what rare knowledge is outside of this place.
Well, is there like a rare and valuable books section or shelf?
It's a library. No.
Well, libraries have that where like you can't just like touch certain books. Like they're behind glass or like in a private room behind a gate. Like,
We never restricted access to knowledge.
well, that's a problem for my categorization. Okay, so
What kind of subjects are you looking to gain knowledge on? Help me with that. I will try to make up stuff.
We're gonna skip fiction. That's right.
Okay,
out.
okay.
As much as Wynni is interested.
Dwarven fiction, sure, yeah.
So nonfiction, like, I mean, she can't help it. Engineering, alchemical, general history. Like, she's interested in anything that would be lost to like current day. And she's also willing to just chuck stuff into little Jeffrey's mouth, and fill up his little bag of holding as much as possible.
It's a little unsettling. Just watching that poor wereshark try to chomp down on a book. It's still still wrapping my brain around how his mouth opens to the size of the bag of holding.
It just unhinges.
Okay, all right.
It's like, yeah.
But also has to jump. It's fine. It's fine. I'm letting it go.
He's my special little man.
He sure is. I'm going to say that yes, you can absolutely find some books on dwarven forging tactics.
Some cookbooks.
Some engineering cookbooks. You want cookbooks?
I mean, like, you know, some of that knowledge was probably lost.
Sure, all that stew knowledge just left on the shelf.
Stew is good. How dare you?
Anyway, yes, you can grab some cookbooks. You can grab some engineering books. I will also say, for the sake of it, we will deal with this in another game. You do find some books that mention
stew game.
Mention without knowing what they're mentioning. Some elder artifacts.
Yeah. Oh well. Yeah.
And I would say you would also be able to grab some histories of other dwarven kingdoms, which would tie into that.
Yeah.
So we will say that you have those books. Anything else major that you wanted to grab while you were down here?
Thank you for mentioning the elder stuff, because that would very clearly be at the top of Wynni's mind, but somehow wasn't at the top of mine. Yeah, she's just gonna go down the list of important and interesting things that might have been lost. So, maybe even a book of music.
Absolutely.
Like,
okay. Waller does find some more archaic sort of things that might be interesting to the dwarven peoples. Mm-hmm. Should you return them? So yeah, we can say that you absolutely do find some pieces of lost heritage, and you also find some stuff to help you as an artificer. Yeah. Maybe some alchemical studies, and also some research on making weapons and armor, and enchanting them. And you're finding. You're not finding the earliest bits of like artificer work, but you are finding some of like the critical stages. Like, you're not finding the instructions of the cotton gin, but you might be finding like, or like the invention of the combustion engine. Ugh. But you might be finding like details on like 1920s automobiles and that kind of contemporary for. Yeah, so you're getting
anything that makes it easier to like backwards engineer, or like any of the like, well, we know they used to do this, like what's the middle stage? And we also don't need to spend a ton of time on it. I just want to like, also like theoretically, like at this stage, Wynni is like, unless we really fuck up, theoretically, this place will still be here, so someone be it us, excuse me, or someone else, can come back for more information later. But while we're here and little Jeffrey has his mouth open, might as well, right? So.
So wrapping up the library, you all travel downwards towards the tomb. Is there anywhere else you would want to stop along the way?
Really quick, how common are atlases of pre-deluge Damaris?
Not super rare. I mean, like if you take a map of Damaros, you can figure out where the land masses were.
Okay. Okay.
I would say, I mean, you have some dwarven histories. You can figure out where a lot of kingdoms were. That was a big part of, like...
It seems like something that would be, if not common knowledge, like, you could access it if you were looking. But I figured I would ask before I wrote myself into it.
That was one of the problems with finding Dorndrin Daroth, was people weren't exactly sure where it was anymore. So it depends on the era that you have a map, because kingdoms come and go, cities rise and fall. So having a map for a certain era might be important, so that you can find, especially for Wynni, find a sunken city, because they're not marked on the map as much as they were. Like if you find a sunken city these days, it's important to mark it so you can find it again.
She might try and grab a map or two then.
Easily done.
And one more thing. Since a millennia has passed, and she's been spending a lot of time with Acacia, if there are any star charts.
Dwarves don't give a shit about stars.
Fucking dwarves, man.
Yeah, that's the one thing I would say you probably don't have as much access to.
Yeah.
Literally living underground, there's no real reason to care, and there's not even really a good point to study. If anything, the star charts you would find would have been outside of this citadel and are long since destroyed by the ocean.
Fair. Final thing. She would point to, if Yana hadn't already found it, any, like, geological, like, information. Let Yana sort it out in terms of what was interesting or not. But, like, if there is, like, a, wow, I don't know that, it's not an herbarium. What's it called? Like, a collection of botanical information. Even if it's just like underground, like
I would say that there's probably a couple of books on, it's a lot of fungus, a lot of fungi information, but yeah, some subterranean plants as well.
She's just kind of hitting like the top subjects, I guess, like the top science subjects, some more in depth than others, but like really any major discipline that she can think of, she'll try and hit.
I will say, by grabbing just, something from each section, you have a small enough library to pull information from in the future. You have your Jeffrey library. I'm going to say we'll just, if you want to look up information on something, we can use that mechanically. And if you have Jeffrey present, if you have the time to flip through a book, we can give you advantage on history checks, intelligence checks, that sort of thing. But you are absolutely pushing the limits of your bag of holding at this point. So I'm not going to say that Jeffrey is a permanent resource.
Yeah. No, that's fair. But yeah, I will absolutely take as many, because he does not have a whole lot in the bag of holding at the moment.
Now he does.
Now he does. Yeah, I will absolutely fill that boy up.
If Skyrim taught me anything, you can't just walk around with 1,000 books.
Oh, we're Skyrim rulings it, huh?
Listen, I base a lot of this game on Skyrim, okay?
And then I will absolutely fill him up as much as possible, and I still have my backpack, which I absolutely heard in the Dora voice. And I will kind of consider that for if we find any scribes or whatever in the future. Also, if anyone else... I'm not restarting my computer. I refuse. If anyone else finds anything in my group that they are interested in, Waller, is there anything you want? Is there anything you want to learn? You don't need anything from the library, but like
almost everything here.
Excellent. Is there anything you wanted to take with you for posterity? Like, you might be able to.
I already have a posterity. No, that's a posterior.
Ooh, we've got jokes.
What is that?
Okay, well, we don't have room for one on.
I have all that I need, and they hold up their like satchel, which has. So I have taken copious notes.
Perfect. Okay, then I think we're ready to move on to the tomb crypt. I will never remember what you called it. It's important.
I called it
a difference. A tomb. Great. Hey, is it sealed? Did they get that far?
No.
Great.
But most dwarven tombs aren't sealed.
Hey, Farah, we're just looking for the Helm of Lofna, right?
That is correct.
Great. Great. I don't suppose hers is at the top of the tomb tiers, is it?
Again, I don't understand the question.
Like, I assume, like, is there just one level of this city that has tombs on it? Or is it, like... So is she, like, near the top of that list? No, she's at the bottom,
what?
Isn't she?
How would she be? That's a terrible way of...
It is.
Making grave. Yeah.
Well, I mean, if you're in a hurry, maybe you've got, like... Look, I had to ask.
Yeah, let's put our oldest people at the very bottom. We're gonna judge that we're only gonna have 200 years worth of dead people.
I had to ask. Okay, so hey, little Jeffrey, like, let's maybe tone it down a little bit, because I feel like the further down we get, the less bright we're gonna want to be.
You hit the Jeffrey dimmer switch, and the mouth closes a little bit.
I really just want to hit save game, but yeah, we're going to head down
and down. Not into Goblet. There's no goblins here. There's nothing. It's as you are traveling downwards that you begin to see, almost mummified, fossilized. What do I want to say? Like, not necrotized, not fossilized, but something similar to that. It's like what trees do. Anyway.
Yeah, like, not petrified, but
petrified is the word I was looking for, actually. Yeah,
that...
petrified, calcified. They're desiccate. Yes.
Do I know, like, probably not from any inherent religious knowledge, but is there a traditional dwarven, like, funerary, anything that, like, are they good where they are, or like...
Dwarves are preferably buried.
I mean, kind of, they already are, so...
If you consider their former home their tomb, yes, they kind of are.
I mean, at that point, it's really semantics.
These are desiccated corpses. Many of them seem as if they were fleeing and died where they fell. Several do not have heads. You start seeing, as you get further and further down, armed dwarves, guards, royal guards perhaps, some of them dressed in, the armor has maintained. It is, the white pearlescent mithril, some adamantine. The cloth has aged a bit, but even here, where it's basically been sealed, has still been preserved. The bodies within, all moisture has sapped from them. They're just, like mummies inside. You get to the first level of tombs, and you can see that there are these open archways where within is very much like the tomb of Doran in Lord of the Rings, you have like the standing kind of sarcophagus, stone sarcophagus with a relief of the dwarven royalty on top, and carvings on the walls, some of their more precious belongings decorating around them on plinths. So if a dwarf lord carried a battle axe, it's going to be on a plinth at the head of their sarcophagus. Perhaps a helmet, perhaps a set of armor. More than welcome to grave rob if you want.
We're not grave robbing. Plus, like, I think if this came up in conversation, when you would be like, I thought you guys were going to be like super well compensated for the helm. So like, really, might as well just buy armor that fits instead of some like random dwarf armor that probably doesn't.
Wynni would know that magical armor is magical because it fits the wearer.
She does, but that's not the point.
None of your companions are actively going for it.
Yeah, no, Wynni would absolutely not. If there's like a book or something, she might take a quick little peekaroo, but she's not going to take it.
So every dwarf leader has their own kind of vibe to them. Some were very clearly warlords, or some were scholars. There are some dwarf lords who actually do have like their autobiography that they wrote, like on a little plinth in front of them where you can read about their life. So absolutely. I mean, these go back thousands of years, some of them.
She's not looking at all of them, and she's just like...
Yeah, well, it's also all in Dwarven, so there's that too.
Right. Yeah, and she's not going to tax Fira with that, for sure. But she might ask,
you also you have Waller now, who does know.
Oh, true. Well, she's not going to tax either of them over much. She's just going to, like, the first time she sees it, she's going to be like, hey, what's that?
It's very dry. Yeah.
Yeah, but unless it has, like, anything of relevant information, like, she's just gonna, like, skip it and move on.
I'm not gonna say relevant to anything. Yeah, it's just
the
life
like,
of a dwarven lord who lived
after
so
the first
far back.
one, like, absolutely not even gonna look until we get to, like, something way more modern.
Again, to reference Lord of the Rings, it's written like the Silmarillion. It's like, modern, this person did this thing in this era.
Yeah, no.
This person did this.
Hard pass. Someone else who cares can come and delve and investigate.
You travel deeper. Trying to make your footsteps quiet. Percival has attached itself to the backpack. It's kind of like folded in, all of its legs very mechanically.
I love them.
Jeffrey is just kind of zipping along. Every now and then Jeffrey will zip to the middle of the chasm and just kind of zip back with his little jetpack. You eventually reach and you would absolutely know it when you got there, the tomb of Queen Lofton. And you know it because of the literal piles of bodies that you have to...
The deeper we go, through. The dimmer that light gets, just for the record.
It's pretty dark.
Yeah, cool. Hate it, but also...
There's no other light source in here except for Jeffrey.
I don't know if any of us actually need light.
I mean, even with dark vision, it is dim. I mean, dim light is not something you can easily see it.
Yeah, but also, like, there's a difference between, like, alerting something to our presence and it probably already knows. I'm gonna take a quick look around for anyone scribe-like.
So you go wading through, literally wading, I mean, it's up to your waist, of desiccated bodies, again, many of them headless, till you reach the archway, where within is just... the walls are still standing.
They're desiccated, they're light, right? Like, can I just, like, mage hand them, like, a little path so we don't have to step on them?
Sure.
I'm
90% as you
sure
do, one of the bodies does go over the side.
Yeah, that tracks.
Yeah. You hear a little clattering, probably from some of the items that they were carrying. general shifting. You don't really hear anything from below.
Wynni is always the Pippin of the party if we have not,
Yeah.
like, established that by season 3. Like, surprise.
And you reach the entrance of the tomb. And within, again, it's blood-spattered walls. Many headless individuals, soldiers, guards. You absolutely see the scribe you're looking for, who was standing near the head of the tomb, or the head of the sarcophagus. Massive book, kind of like laid out across their body. No head.
Not even reading it, just tossing it in my bag.
There is a plinth where you imagine that the helm should be, the crown helm. It is not there. You can see that the stone of the sarcophagus is slightly moved.
Is there anything inside?
You go to move the stone.
Oh, I'm looking first before I move it. Is it not open enough for there to be?
It's open at like an angle, so you can kind of like you can use Jeffrey to peek in. There absolutely is the body of a dwarf, dressed in regalia with the crown helm on her head.
I would quietly, perhaps with years of like hand motions, rally the group to move the top as quietly as possible. I know it's not going to be quiet enough, but like the thought's there. And I'm making a note to later ask why the helm wasn't on the plinth. Oh, probably time. Like the whole, like, there wasn't time thing. Right, fine.
She was likely prepared with it, and it was not removed for the sake of posterity, because, yeah. Fira takes a corner. Zinji, Yana, yourself. The stone slab slides as quietly as you can. A little bit of grating of that granite.
Yep.
Are you taking the helm off?
If no one else is reaching for it, that's literally why we're here.
Yeah.
Sanctioned by the dwarves. I just want to say that very clearly this is a retrieval mission from dwarves.
Logistics. I am just
Wynni
asking logistics.
Is not grave robbing for the heck of it.
Stop acting like I'm going to kill you every second.
Okay, but I like how I basically it's fine. Yeah, like there's a quick moment of like her looking at Zinji and Fira, and you know what? She's not looking at Yana and Omeri because like she knows those two are not like this isn't their main focus. But if neither of them are reaching for it, yeah, like that's why they're there. She will gently as possible remove the helm, shove it in her bag if possible.
So the helm it has a nose piece, has kind of a crossbar above the brow. It is fully encapsulated like a helmet, but does have like the geometric crown of a dwarf with this mithril chain, kind of coif coming down from it. It's very pretty. It's very, very ornate. And you were able to slide it off, place it into your bag without issue.
Yeah, she'll like cradle the skull, whatever she needs to do to like make it not a mess.
The skull almost disintegrates as you're pulling the helm off. It's when you turn around at that point that you see Jeffrey.
My little Jeffrey?
He has picked up a battle axe that is way too big for him. And is just kind of like swinging it around like a kid would with a lightsaber.
You already have a dagger, my dude.
And he just looks at you and like activates the shark puppy eyes.
We have a battle axe at home. Put that one down. I'll get you a battle axe at home.
And he drops it.
You're
clattering to the
cruising
ground.
for version 4.
I've died before. Nothing scares me.
um, how do we all feel about hustling to the exit?
I'm sorry, I wasn't done.
Yeah.
As he drops it, yeah, well, this is it's a one-on-one. This is why we do this, right? This is why we have this fun. You hear the much more accurate, deep, reverberating from far down in the chasm, and you see a light illuminate, a flaming light kind of burst out like an explosion of sorts, and the ground around you, the walkway just shakes, and yeah, your companions all kind of look around a wall and goes, that is the roar. It is time that we should leave, I think.
Yeah, no, let's go. Also, that is a roar, not a roar. Like, just for next time. But, like, as they're hustling, like, out.
Sounds the same.
Oh, okay.
You all go running up the stairs, this spiraling platform that goes all around this mountain. Is there anything you're doing as you're running?
I mean, aside from hustling as much as possible, assuming Wynni would know this, Eva does not remember off the top of her head. Assuming everyone does have dark vision, little Jeffrey's light will go out completely. And she's going to...
You would have to worry about Yana, who's also going to be the slowest because
she'll cast dark vision on Yana. Ha!
All right.
But she'll say, like, Yana, heads up. I guess she'll just say dark vision. And pat her little Lakatha-y shoulder, I guess.
Again, flipper feet moving upstairs too. Like Yana is dragging.
How much do Lakatha weigh?
50, 80 pounds.
Balls. Okay. Fine. You solved my little Jeffrey hover puzzle. I think, I mean, she's not going to leave Yana behind. And will quietly suggest that Waller go first. Because they know this place the best and will be the best able to identify the escape hatch.
That is a smart thing to do. I will reward you for that.
Thank you. Okay.
So in that case, as you are traveling upwards, at a certain point, Waller actually stops where a bit of the platform extends outwards, and they jump into the darkness. And it's a bit further from where your even dim light can kind of tell, but they go, come on, it's this way, please. Just jump straight. I will catch you.
I trust everyone else. Does it seem like if a dwarf could jump it, a Lakatha could jump it?
First of all, they are not a dwarf.
No, but I mean, like, Waller would have the most knowledge of, like, dwarven physique, right? Like...
Sure. We are on definitely a time clock. So another burst of flame from below, explosion of flame. You can see that Waller is standing on a platform that is held up by a series of ropes and chains and cords.
Does it seem like a distance a Lakatha could jump?
It does.
Okay.
Or you could toss them. Nobody tosses a dwarf, but you can toss a Lakatha.
I
Nothing in
am.
the rule says you can't toss the look up.
I had a massive, like, weird backup plan for Yana, but I'm just going to, again, pat Yana's shoulder and imbue her with fly, so just in case, and then make the leap myself. Wynni is very much a nobody gets left behind. But aside
If
from like,
Yana has fly, she's gonna go, I will prepare the door for you.
perfect, go.
Make
Bless.
safe, my comrades. And she goes up into the air towards the
And as soon as she's gone, Winnie's gonna be like, wait, when did she get that accent?
She has said it the whole time. She just hasn't talked that much.
I guess that's true. Cool. All right. Well, now Winnie's in the back. But yeah. Wynni will carry the rear, but go. Like,
I was gonna say ticking clock. Okay.
Yeah.
You all jump onto this platform. So now it is Waller, it is Fira, and it is you and Omuri. You are the last four. And Jeffrey and Bruce.
Jeffrey's hovering though, just for the record.
Sure.
Also flying.
I'm gonna say he still stays on the platform for the sake of speed. So
I was worried about weight.
with everybody
okay.
on what?
I was worried about weight, but okay, yeah.
No, you're fine. Yeah, I don't think 10 pounds of Jeffrey is gonna make a difference. It's at this point that the creature from below is getting louder and louder, and Wynni, as you are able to look over the side of this platform that you are on, you can see a massive creature. It is humanoid, has 2 arms, 2 legs, this monstrous face, almost like a carnivorous bull. These horns on either side, this mane which streams downwards. It has fire coming from its eyes and its mouth, its sharpened teeth. It is adorned in skulls. Some of them actually appear to have been dipped in metal to preserve them better. In one hand, it has what you can kind of perceive is a sword made of lightning, and in its other, it has a whip made of flame. And it is flying up to you as Waller goes to cut one of the supporting ropes, and this platform you were on goes soaring upwards towards the escape hatch where you were. And you almost pass Yana on your way up, but this creature is literally on your heels, and you are able to make it through the door. I want to say Waller holds back for you and points up at the massive not candelabra, the chandelier.
Yeah.
Do you have anything to bring that down?
Yeah, sure. I was gonna dump water on it, but sure. Is it, I can't remember, is it held up by rope?
Chain.
Cool. Acid?
Yeah.
Okay. Wynni throws a little she uses her little like slingshot to shoot up a little seashell full of acid, which probably wouldn't be good in a seashell, but it's fine.
You fire the acid at the chain and watch as the Balor, which is what this creature is, kind of comes up to the level of you, winds back the whip, prepared to strike at you, as the acid is just in time able to wear away the chain, leaving this. I mean, we're talking, this is a huge-sized creature. This is a gargantuan-sized chandelier, comes landing directly on it. And you hear this creature roar, just reverberating through, echoing off all of these walls as it goes plunging down towards the depths from whence it came. As it does, Wynni, you would see where the bottom is, as this chandelier was likely full of oil. And as it hits the flame of the Balor, it causes an explosion. and you see this flame winding upwards through
Close the
this
door,
hallway
close the
coming
door,
towards you.
close the door.
And yes, you were able to get in the door, and Waller is able to close it behind them. And you can even see how the heat is causing the metal of the door to kind of glow slightly.
Open the door, open the other door, open the other door.
I'm going to say the other door opens. On the other side is Merrick, and the water floods in. And you are safe.
Hooray!
And you find yourself on the other. This is way too whimsical. You find yourself on the other side of the stone relief of Hanseath once again. You have your books, you have your crown, you have your friends, all of them intact, plus 1.5.
Yeah. That's not how Wynni counts things. Percival is their own friend.
Good
a whole friend. Wynni would, I think she's got 1 bottle of wine left. Or liquor. I guess it's just liquor. When they close the, secret door, Eva doesn't remember how chemistry works, and what is lighter than what, but if there's any way of getting any of that alcohol, like, down that chute, that'd be great. In Hanseath's, like, statue.
I would say you can press, like, the bottle directly up to the pipe, and through pressure, it would go down.
Let's do that. Before they head up to the orca.
Okay. Not the boat from Jaws, but your actual dolphins, whales, things.
They're dolphins.
Fantastic.
Fantastic.
Wynni, you and your friends make it back to Undertow all in one piece, even though it probably saved them a little bit of time just to go straight to Axia. Did Wynni have any interest in going to Axia?
I mean, she wouldn't say no if it's on the way. More
it's
friends.
Not. It's opposite directions.
I don't know what kind of timeline they're on, but I mean, if there's time before Undertow is going to miss her, then she'll go. Otherwise, she'll go back to Undertow.
Fantastic. We will have you. We'll have you go to Axia then, and maybe meet some familiar friends. We'll save that for probably some not on camera kind of stuff, and we can describe some of Axia. You will absolutely go to one of the cities there that I don't have written down in front of me. But you'll go to one of the port cities. The dwarven kings and queens of Axia are grateful for your role's retrieval, for your salvaging of cultural history, for your founding of their lost city, and also for potentially felling a Balor. It's unlikely that anyone will ever go back in there. I know that was kind of Wynni's plan, but between the fire and the demon,
it's possible. That's the important part.
It's potentially possible. They will. They'll see about sending some clerics, maybe. I think that's where we're going to wrap up. We'll send Wynni back to Undertow with some new knowledge and some new friends. They might not come along with you, but who knows? I'll leave that to you. That's where we're going to wrap up today. Thank you, everyone. This has been the finale of our character development sessions, Horizon's Call. Of course, this one with the very lovely Eva, with the incredible Wynni. So thank you, dear, for joining me for this wonderful one-on-one. I wouldn't prefer to wrap up with anybody else but you. Let's go ahead and do channel stuff. So where are you in anything coming up here?
Nope.
I know you are. You are.
Riddlewood Bay.
There we go. Where can people find you on social media?
At the Eva Serrate. That's me.
There
pretty much most of the places, or Eva Serrate. Pick one.
Absolutely. Please follow the very lovely Eva. She does amazing work, and I could not do this show without her. She literally does almost all the background stuff. So yeah, I am learning, but still, this show hinges heavily on her incredible ability. For Sword and Key stuff, as even noted, Brindlewood Bay is every other Sunday at 2:30 p.m. Pacific. The next episode of that will be on the 30th. I am on the show Vast Grim, I Want Your Skulls, which is every Sunday for the next 2 weeks. Actually, tomorrow and then the week after at 10 a.m. Pacific. So that'll be the 23rd and also the 30th. We also have the beginning of Magical Kitty Save the Day, GM'd by the Incredible Mayor. That is 4 p.m. on Wednesdays, starting on the 2nd of August, 4 p.m. Pacific time. And then, of course, we have Horizon's Call at 3 p.m. Pacific time every Saturday. We'll be getting back to normal episodes. Starting next week, we will have some guests coming up here soon. And we have lots more projects kind of in the works. So keep an eye out for that. We will have probably some applications coming out soon. Also, we are a podcast network technically now. So if you have a podcast, you're looking for a network, we'd be happy to see how we could help you and perhaps add you to our network. We currently only have one, mine, Monster Crush. We had another one, which unfortunately fell through. But if you do like monsters and cryptids and all sorts of that stuff, check out Monster Crush. It is a crypto romantic. I say crypto as in the monsters, not as in the Bitcoin. But it's a monster romantic kind of podcast where we explore monsters, their histories, and also how much of a romanceable partner they might be. That is it for Sword and Key. That is it for Horizon's Call for this week. Take care of yourselves. Thank you for joining us. And until next time, fair winds and following sails, brave mariners.
you